Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Valley News Now desk. Duke Schindler here, joining you on this First Alert Friday, as we have some very inclement weather coming our way here around the Fargo region. Looks like it's kind of, made its way out of the area here, but we want to make sure everyone gets home safe tonight. It's very, very windy out there still, even though the snow did subside a little bit. So we want to make sure whatever roads you're heading on here tonight, that we got you covered on what they look like right now, because it's going to be a windy one out there. I've driven in this kind of wind before. It's not fun at all. So any added extra snow and ice can really make for some dangerous conditions here. So we want to take you through, what we're looking at here. We'll look through kind of the forecast right now with Summer, our meteorologist, Summer Schnellbach, has for us. Go through the hour by hour, and then for those watching here, if you want me to take a look at any region in the comments when we go through the road maps, feel free to drop a comment. I'll try to keep my eye out for that and stay updated so we can get the people what they need right now. So we're going to move over to our Valley News Live website here, our First Alerts storm team, Summer Schnellbach, giving us an advisory here, a winter weather advisory for the region right now. That's in effect through 6 p.m. Due to snow, widespread blowing snow, and gusts could be up to as fast as 50 miles an hour, and some places even west of Fargo reaching 60 miles an hour. But here in the region, Fargo, North Dakota, 7 degrees right now. That wind is picking up from what I did the last live stream here. It has gone from about 25 miles an hour to 30 miles an hour. So that will definitely be making an impact here if you're heading out for tonight. But right now, 7 degrees. Feels like minus 16, and sunset just right around the corner. Thankfully, well, days are getting a little longer. It just doesn't feel like it. Hour by hour, we're going to see temperatures drop drastically here. And there could be, if you listened to Summer not too long ago, there could be some scattered and isolated snow showers that may be moving through, some flakes where you might not see it, and even just whiteout conditions on the road. And if you watched the live stream earlier too, there is some places that looked clear, and then just a few minutes or miles down the road, well, whiteout conditions. So make sure if you are heading out on the road tonight that be wary of that. It could really spice up the trip, that's for sure. But as we move into this evening, temps dipping around 3 degrees, and then into next morning, -5 at around 7 a.m. Thankfully, I'll be sleeping in for once. That'll be nice. However, that wind is still going to be prevalent in the area, about 24 miles an hour. That's why we have a first alert weather day for both Saturday and Sunday as well. That blowing wind can really take the snow in a direction that is not favorable for drivers. Now that's going to go all the way into the afternoon here of Saturday. 0 degrees as we get there. That's going to be about the high we see on Saturday. Going to the 3-day outlook, these are all first alert weather days, so might as well take a peek at these. Friday, obviously, we know what we're going through right now. A lot of blowing wind, making driving conditions very tough out there. For Saturday, 0 degrees for a high, 0 degrees for a low, but might see some negatives sprinkled in there as well. And possible chance of precipitation, I'll leave that up to our meteorologist to tell you when and where that will be. Then Sunday, 14 degrees for high, getting up there just a little bit, and then a low of -6. So we are certainly in for it here. Looking at the 10-day, it's just going to be very, very, very cold here. Welcome to January. We're back to those January temperatures here. All right. And like I mentioned before, if you are just joining the live stream, I'm going to get to road conditions in just a bit here, but just want to give you guys an outlook of what we saw, what we're going to see based on this radar before I get there. Now, this one will go all the way back to about 8:10 this morning. As you can see, this system just moving through the area and kind of sticking around too. It really felt like we had this blowing snow. I guess I couldn't even really tell if it was the wind blowing it or the snow coming down, but this kind of takes us all the way up to where we are right now, where we zoom in a little bit. There's just going to be scattered areas where we're going to see flakes, and that could build up. We all know that even an inch or two of snow can really hinder driving conditions, especially if there's ice mixed in. Really doesn't matter how good your tires are, if that ice is out there and it's thick, it'll give you a headache. All right, so we'll go and look at the future radar right now. This is about where we are at this time, about 2:05 p.m. And moving through the night, we may see some more snow. I'm going to leave that up to our experts here at this time. But as we move through the day and night here on Friday, there's definitely lingering precipitation. So always be wary, especially tonight, that you may see things here and there when it comes to snowfall. Now, let's head over to the sky cams, kind of see what conditions are looking like right now. Heading to the fairgrounds of West Fargo. That wind, very, very prevalent. Still shaking the cameras, and visibility not great earlier this morning. I believe it was in Fergus Falls. Lisa mentioned that there was just zero visibility all around. So whiteout conditions are absolutely no joke. And like they mentioned too as well, if you've been tapping in, it can happen at any time. You could be driving in clear roads and then all of a sudden, boom, you hit those whiteout conditions. So always know what you're heading into here on your commute home tonight. Taking a look at our friends up in Grand Forks, not as clear as before when we looked at it about 9 this morning, I believe. Visibility not great, wind still prevalent. And our very trusty Dakota Magic Sky Cam. I believe this morning those flags were barely visible, so good sign to see that the flags are moving. You can actually see them moving this time around instead of really lower the reading glasses to see that. All right, that'll do for our sky cams here as we move on over to our road maps. Oof, a lot more color than earlier this morning. As you can see, western North Dakota getting some serious no travel advisories and incidents, just south of Minot here. But we're not here for that. We got to check out our area, make sure everything is good around Fargo. Some seasonal roads, some looking good according to the DOT website here. Let me turn on the cameras so we can take a peek at some of those. As you can see, the green looking good seasonal at this time. I want to see for myself how that's looking here, so we'll pull up some sky cams. Yeah, there's certainly some coverage, but just be wary. That's going to be the name of the game here as we move into these later hours. We don't really know exactly where the wind's going to be more prevalent, where it's going to be less. We're going to see isolated snow showers here and there. So, yeah, make sure you got your eyes peeled here. This is a little farther south towards Fargo, 19th and 40th Avenue. Watching I-29 here. That blowing snow is really going to make it tough for drivers here tonight. Hopefully you can get back before sundown here because, yeah, we'll be taking a look at more sky cams here. Like I mentioned, if anyone wants me to check out a specific area, drop a comment in our Facebook Live. I'll make sure to keep looking behind my shoulder here. Check that out. We'll start in Fargo itself as we're seeing some striped purple here. That's going to be our scattered snow drifts and really what everyone from our first alert storm team was expecting today. And yeah, like I mentioned earlier this morning, if you can see wind from a still image, that's definitely a strong one right off the exit of 343 near Main Avenue. This is where we're looking here, and you can see the snow kind of building up on those roads. The more tires that go over it, the easier it is to freeze and create some ice. Getting closer to West Fargo here. Picture was snapped. It looks, working on my military time still. 2 p.m., just before 2 p.m., about 1:56. This picture was snapped. This is near Cheyenne Street. And as you can see, right near that bridge, there's a lot of coverage. So if you are passing through that area, those under the bridges, that can get really slick as well. Top the bridge, just some regular coverage when there's something going on around the area here, weather event. Not too bad. Now let's check out 45th here. I-94, as you can see on the bottom, and then 45th Street across. Visibility isn't great out here. And like I mentioned once more, that it's going to vary where you are. Very scattered type of storm that we are kind of running into. All right, this is the exit off 52nd Avenue exit near the Sweet Shots. Over the top of the bridge, not too bad, especially considering what we've seen here this morning. Got to shout out the snow plows that got out there bright and early to make sure everyone gets to and from work safe, and that's why we're here on the desk as well, to make sure you guys know what you're getting yourselves into. Obviously, a lot of you don't have a choice but to drive home from work tonight, so we want to make sure we cover everything, and that's why I got those comments up, in case you want to make sure the hubby gets home safe and whatnot. All right, this is I-29 near the 64th Avenue exit. Visibility just isn't great all around. I did hit the road myself for a quick break around just after noon, so about 12:45 or so. Slick roads if you're not on the highway here. So I was on University Drive, and that buildup is definitely more noticeable than when you get on those highways. Let's go a little bit west near Castleton here. That is what drivers are dealing with at this time. Very low visibility, blowing snow, might drag your car a little bit. Just a lot going on. Nearing closer to Valley City, not too bad. And that's going to be the difference. Excuse me, sorry about that. That's going to be the difference here and what I was talking about, right? You see near Valley City, things are looking not too shabby, right? Pretty clear. This is just taken after 2 o'clock. And once you get to Castleton, hard to see. So this is definitely what I'm talking about, when things may look good for a second, but it can change very, very quickly. We had some interesting shots from Jamestown, too, not from our first weather hit here around just after 9 a.m. this morning. Feels like I've been here all day. This is just before 2. Not looking bad. Closer to that exit near Jamestown. Nope. Looks like things have cleared up, so if you're heading that way, not too bad. We'll wait for these. Looks like these pictures aren't going to pull up, so we'll get a little closer to the area and maybe go north this time. North of Hillsborough, right near Buxton, south of Buxton, and getting closer to Grand Forks. No pictures. Oh, there it is. Awesome, awesome. Yep, this is going to be near I-29. Oh, boy. Not too bad for snow coverage, but we're going to run into a lot of visibility issues, as you can see there. Purple stripes means scattered snow drifts, and my go-to phrase here is if you can see the wind through a still image, that means it's pretty strong, to say the least. Getting closer to Grand Forks on I-29, looking a little clearer up there, just looking like potential visibility issues ahead. That's going to be tough to see. This is US 2, US Highway 2 at Grand Forks. Road itself doesn't look too bad, though, but obviously some black ice may be hiding under that as you get further down the road. Now, if you get off the beaten path of I-29, further down to just a little bit west, a little bit of the same as we saw before, at least clearer images. Visibility looks a little better here. This was taken at 2:05, so you just see how fast things can lose visibility and regain it here. So that is kind of the storm we're dealing with here overall. We had some action near Wahpeton, too. Just wanted to make sure we check that out. Before we head over to the Minnesota side, if you need me to check anywhere, make sure to drop a comment on our Facebook Live going on right now. There's some potential black ice. This is going to be I-29, getting close to Wahpeton. Some coverage there on the left lane, too, so always make sure if you're going fast enough, slowing down. it's going to be necessary at times. And then we'll head over to, oh boy, oh my heavens. This is on North Dakota 13, so looks like you're just getting off 29 and then heading west. If you're down south North Dakota, watch out. This is taken just after 2:02, so just over 10 minutes ago, and that wind is present, to say the least. Oh, bad visibility there, too. Make sure you're out. If you're out there, please, please, please drive safe. That's covered, to say the least. All right, I don't think I see any comments here about specific places we want to check out. But just for kicks and giggles, we'll go north of Grafton here, still on I-29. This is supposed to be a no travel advised area. Yeah, that's going to be some potential ice right there as well. Pretty much not looking too different from what we saw down in Wahpeton, but this is very close to the North Dakota-Canadian border as well. It varies. It varies. This is a very big storm, and as you can see from our radar that I pulled up not too long ago, I mean, that thing stretches from North Dakota all the way down to South Dakota. So, a lot to deal with. Closer to Cavalier. Wow, that's a beautiful view. Looking good, but more flat areas, not looking too bad either. Just a lot of blowing snow, and when there's blowing snow, there's going to be a potential for low visibility here. I do not see any comments, but we'll check a couple more here near Lakota and get close to Devil's Lake before we switch things up to Minnesota. U.S. Highway 2, just after 2:06, these were taken. It's just crazy how fast and how weird these storms can get when it's, I mean, this is just a great example. A few miles east, looks pretty decent, then a few miles west, well, these roads are covered. That blowing snow is no joke near the Devil's Lake area. And as we get closer to the city of Devil's Lake, low visibility. Taken just after 2:05, getting close to 2:06. Nothing, when you have winds this strong, you know, nothing looks too out of the ordinary here. It's just very jarring when we're in one place where it's decently clear, click on the next one just a few miles down the road, and it's boom, covered. All right. That'll be it. We'll wrap that up for the North Dakota side of things. Give Minnesota a refresh and see what's popping. And as you can see right here, this is what we are looking at on the North Dakota side of things. We'll start near Fargo, heading into Moorhead before we kind of go north and south and a little bit to east. Oh, we got Grand Forks and Thief River from, hopefully I say your name right here, Jana. Let's check out Thief River. And then that's going to be heading to Grand Forks, of course. This is the only camera we got. And this is close to Grand Junction. That looks sketchy, to say the least here, Jana. Oof. Now, this is looking at a US 59, if this is kind of the area you're looking at and traveling on. Picture was snapped at 2:08 p.m. as well. You're going to be expecting some blowing snow. Blowing snow, maybe shift the car around here. But yeah, make sure you got hands on the wheel. No distractions, especially if you're going even closer to the North Dakota border. That's pretty high up there, close to the Canada border. And we saw how bad things were in some no travel advisories near that North Dakota border. But we're in Minnesota right now, checking out Thief River Falls around just after 2 p.m., 2:08 here. You can see the snow is very prevalent. Or not the snow, excuse me, the wind. Really blowing there. All right. Getting a little too far into Canada. Boom. All right, back closer to home here. There we go. Actually, we want to get a little closer look at Grand Forks as well. And this is when you get onto US Highway 2, very close to the this is East Grand Forks, really close to the North Dakota border. Visibility is not ideal by any stretch of the imagination. But like I mentioned, things could change quickly as we've seen, but for a travel advisory, there is high winds on US 2 heading into the Grand Forks area. Oof, that is scary. We got our troopers out probably helping out some people on the road. You can see that car right there. I'd hate to be that guy. Oof, that is a tough stretch with very low visibility. But as we've seen, you know, this can move very quickly throughout the area. So as we pull up let's pull up some plow cameras too. We had some action in Crookston here earlier today as well. But this is what it's looking like now. Ooh, lots of ice, snow-covered roads near that Crookston area. Yeah, if you're in town or just near US 2, this is kind of what you're expecting near that Crookston area. Just snapped before 2 p.m. Yeeks. Yeah, make sure you're extra careful, guys. This is even though there's not as much snow than anticipated or to really make a difference, that wind is really no joke. Let's get on to Minnesota Highway 9 here. Oh my. This is why I always appreciate the snowplow drivers. I don't know how confident can you really be on a road like that when there's absolutely little to no visibility, and that was just picture was taken right after 2 p.m. This one is at 2:07, so recent enough to say the least. Let's go back to Fargo here as well. Get back into the FM area. This is what we're looking at between Main Street and 8th Streets. Nothing too out of the ordinary when it comes to blowing wind and these kind of storms. Let's get a little bit south. This is near 12th Avenue on US 75, right at the stoplight. I'm sure there's plenty of ice once you get there. Those spots always seem to be pretty tricky when it comes to the ice. 20th Avenue, a little further south down 75, lots of the same here, lots of the same. And getting close to that I-94 near US 75, kind of where that comes together. Not bad. What's all right, very cool. We got a little bobcat sighting in the middle of the intersection. I would really like to know what Buddy's up to there. Oh, we got to play video. All right, I need to see this here. Got some pretty steady traffic. There was a couple people going probably a little faster than I would at this time. I'm just looking for this. I want to see this bobcat, where he comes out of and where he's heading. As you can see, the traffic is moving pretty slow, getting out of turns, corners, whatnot. But nothing too, out of the ordinary when it comes to a storm like this. Everyone seems to be taking their time. No one's going too fast. Show me that bobcat. I want to see where that is coming out of. And like I mentioned, this is near 24th Avenue on US 75. Yeah, traffic seems to be just moving just fine. Not, as far as I can tell, the visibility seems pretty manageable here once you get south on 75 into Minnesota. Come on, give me that bobcat. I want to see where this guy comes out of. Yeah, traffic seems pretty steady. Not too bad, not too bad. That's pretty good for what we've been really experiencing here. That guy was going pretty fast. Oof. But confident, I'm sure it's not too far over the speed limit, or maybe is the speed limit since people may be driving a little slower. This is what we're looking at here at US 75 near 24th Avenue. I'm not going to make you wait any longer here. I got a couple seconds left in me. I want to see that bobcat. All right, we'll get out of that one. I'm sure I bored you enough. All right, we'll get close to 40th Avenue. Let's take a peek. Roads are a little more covered as you go a little further south. Those are always some slick spots near those traffic lights. As we zoom out a little bit, let's get a little closer to Wahpeton, huh? This is going to be near Abercrombie. We did see these, we did pull up these sky cams too before, or road cams, I should say. Kind of a little bit of the same here on US 75, going south. Closer to Wahpeton, let's see what we can get. Here's Foxhome. I'm sure there's a lot of people around Foxhome watching this stream right now, but once you get a little east into Minnesota, southeast of Minnesota, I should say, this was taken at 218. Man, that almost looks like the apocalypse with all that bare land. And we did see some action near Rothsay as well. I know Lisa pulled up a couple of those cams. This doesn't have a timestamp on it, but I don't think there's really any caption that's needed. Visibility, very low. Excuse me. That's what it's looking like. Just after 2:15. Yeah, if you're traveling near Rothsay, I would expect little visibility. All right. Let's get into a little bit or outside of Fergus, I should say. I-94 west, heading outside of Fergus, past Fergus here, closer to St. Cloud, Minnesota. Visibility doesn't seem too bad, but as you can see, the wind picking up. And south of Parkdale. Yep. It's going to be hit and miss no matter where you're driving, whether it be the wind, whether it be the ice, whether it be the snow. It really feels like as we just keep looking at these sky cams that things are very spotty, to say the least. Pulling up this road cam on Minnesota 34, 213. This was snapped. Visibility pretty decent in Barnesville, right outside Barnesville. And on I-94, looking good. So if you're heading that way, it seems good as of now. Like I mentioned, if you guys got any other places you want me to check out, feel free to drop them in the Facebook live comments as we keep taking a look at I-94 in Minnesota at this time. This is going, all right. Nothing out of the, it's just going to be a lot of wind here, guys, when it all comes down to it. So make sure, if you got some even sandbags in your car to throw in the trunk to keep that, keep it weighed down, that's never a bad idea. It's always a trick Pops taught me back in the day. That is pretty much where maybe I'll leave it. We'll check out a couple more places here in the pink. If you're getting close to Crookston, Grand Forks, going up that way. Just outside of Crookston, east of Crookston on US 2. These are what the plow cams are looking like as of 2:20, less than 10 minutes ago. And a little further east, just a couple miles down, visibility isn't great. That's probably the name of the game as we get through today's inclement weather, and there's going to be even more coming up. I can tell you right now. We are on day 2 of 4 straight first alert weather days. Now, tomorrow we're going to be looking at obviously very cold temperatures, wind chills playing a factor into the first alert, as well as the howling winds. I would check the Facebook comments here. Doesn't look like we have any places to really check out. But I'll zoom out on North Dakota in case anyone's traveling long distances here. And I'll take off the cameras as well so it's a little easier to read map. Well, when we first pulled this up and started the stream, a lot of this Williston area was covered in red. That looks to be subsiding here. So if you're really taking a roadie today, it's not going to be great, but at least conditions may seem to be getting just a little bit better. But that's what we're looking at for North Dakota. I'm going to get rid of our plow cams and cameras to give you a look at Minnesota. That's just pretty much what we're looking at. according to the key, green means good, seasonal. Blue, partially covered. Pink, completely covered. Let's actually take a look at Lake Park, just outside of Lake Park, heading towards Detroit Lakes. We'll go with one more road cam before we wrap things up. Very dark, very dark. Watch out. Black ice can hide just about anywhere, especially with roaring winds that we're getting here. I'll wrap up the road maps right here and then just go through a little bit of one more to expect as we move on to more first alert weather days for this weekend. Thankfully, I don't have to travel for the first time in quite some time, so we're going to be sticking to hot chocolate here. All right, pulling things up, and I'll give this one more refresh. Fargo jumped up a degree since we last checked. Still feels past minus 10 degrees. Wind calming down just a little bit, but it's not going to feel that much different. Heading into tonight, going to get colder until we get to next morning where we may see some minus 5s. That is not including wind chills, so it's going to feel brutal out there. Nothing we shouldn't expect here for January when it all comes down to it. We'll head to the 3-day to give you kind of an outlook on these first alert weather days, day 2 of 4. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, all inclement weather conditions that we should be watching out for if we're planning on traveling. Saturday is going to be a lot of blowing snow. Once again, wind is going to be prevalent. Wind chill, minus 30. One of the reasons why we have this first alert weather day. Gusts seeing potentially 40 miles an hour. That's what we've seen here today in the valley as well, so that's not going to subside anytime soon. And Saturday nights, low of 14. Winds? Okay. Hey, if we're seeing close to single digits in winds, that might be a win in Fargo. Chance of snow, 70%, but it may be scattered depending on where you're at. Definitely a potential for 1 to 3 inches in our area. Now, there is other potential for more snow in other areas in our region. Make sure you tune into Valley News Live at 4 with myself and Summer to get a full breakdown. Sunday, another first alert day, as we mentioned. Morning high of 14, then temps falling throughout the day. Northwest winds over 40 miles an hour, blowing that snow, blizzard conditions possible. I think we'll have Summer define the definition of a blizzard because it definitely varies, and it's very particular on what you call a blizzard. Heading into Sunday night and into your Monday morning, mostly cloudy, windy, of course. Low of minus 6, then winds pick up 20 to 30 miles per hour, and higher wind gusts even more possible as well. I'll wrap it up right there, guys. Oh, how about this afternoon from Fergus to Fargo? Sherry, I'll give you a look. Let me find, there's so many maps here that I just struggle to find. There we go. All right, Fergus to Fargo. We'll check multiple cams here for you. All right. So this is the only camera we have around Fergus Falls that I can see. So this is just a little further east of Fergus. Visibility isn't great. You're going to see some blowing snow on your way to back to the valley here. But I don't see too much snow coverage per se. And these pics were also snapped around 2:22. So just about within the last 10 minutes, this is about 2:25. At least visibility is looking a little better. But as we move up 94, we did see that Rothsay was sketchy, to say the least. And there it is. That's what you may be expecting near Rothsay. And this, obviously, we know that storms move from west to east, so make sure you're watching out for what that coverage looks like as you make your way back here to Fargo. Sherry, visibility not great near Rothsay. This is right near County Road 11 on 94. Moving up closer to Barnesville. We'll just take you through the whole drive. Why not? Barnesville, visibility low. Not much coverage though, so not too shabby. Getting closer to Fargo. It's just going to be really varying on your visibility on this drive home. We've seen some pics where it's very clear, doesn't seem like too big of a deal to get in the car, but then, just a few miles down the road, you may run into something. And obviously, we do not want that. Want to make sure everyone gets home safe here. A little closer from Fergus, getting towards Fargo. This is near a 50th Street exit. Low visibility all around. All right. Staying on 94. This is going to be close to Dilworth here. When it comes to the road conditions themselves, the roads seem pretty clear. You just got to really watch out on where your visibility is going to be and how fast it can change from visible to not visible. So this picture was snapped 2:29, really within the last 10 minutes, even like 8 minutes. 2:32. It's hard to see in front of you. And this is just kind of what we're looking at from 94 from Fergus Falls to Fargo. A lot of the same. Winds are going to be blowing that snow across the roads, but it's good to see that it's not sticking on the roads, as far as I can tell. Once again, tune into Valley News Live at 4. Summer Schnellbach will have a full breakdown and a much more intelligent breakdown than what I'm doing here on the desk. We'll keep going. This is I-94, kind of near the exit of 1B. You can see in front of you. Yeah, we'll just about wrap things up right there. Let's take a look at Moorhead. Once you get to a stoplight, there's going to be definitely more snow coverage. And slick, very, very slick. I wish I could have seen that Bobcat, man. That would have been awesome. Just outside of Dilworth, if you're on Minnesota 336. All in all, I think we've seen enough pictures at this time to really determine that it's going to vary if you're out on the roads here today. So make sure you're driving with extra caution. If you have a deadline to get somewhere, please leave a little bit earlier, just in case you run into some whiteout conditions. It feels like they can pop up and have popped up at just about any time. Very, very isolated winds, snow coming through this area. So we'll wrap things up there as long as I do not see any more comments. All right, so we'll wrap things up here. Well, thank you guys very much for joining me on the desk. Hope you guys enjoy. It's educational and helpful that I'm here looking at pulling up pictures of roads and whatnot. So thank you very much for joining us here on the Valley News Now desk. We love doing these. Definitely become kind of the road conditions guy here. But thank you very much for joining us. Once again, we may be able to get one more road conditions look. We'll see what is going on in the back. So feel free to stay in touch, take a look at our Facebook, YouTube, whatnot. But for Duke Schindler, we'll catch you later.